Many people who drink beer are unaware of the benefits of brewing their own beer, the materials needed, or the overall process and the rewards of brewing your own beer. Beer, some form of it, has existed since the Mesopotamian era. Even then it was considered a home beer. In the 1920s, a noble experiment, otherwise known as Prohibition, made it illegal to make any beer or alcohol, period. Prohibition lasted till 1933, when it was lifted. The stenographer who carried out the bill forgot to add the part about brewing home beer. So it stayed that way until 1978, when a bill was passed by Congress repealing the federal restrictions on home brew. In February of 1979, President Carter signed the bill into law. Thanks to President Carter, now a one-adult household is allowed to produce 100 gallons of beer per year for personal consumption. With the rise in craft brewing, home brewing has become a fun way to try out new recipes for beer. Brewing your own beer is simple to do, affordable, and rewarding. I'll cover the materials and ingredients needed to brew your own beer, the process, and the rewards of brewing your own beer. My sources include the book, The Complete Joy of Homebrewing, 3rd edition, articles from Zimmergy, a homebrewing magazine, and an internet interview with Charles Papazan. I'm sure I'm butchering it. Before you're ready to embark on your homebrewing journey, you will need specific materials and ingredients needed for the process. The Complete Joy of Homebrewing, 3rd edition, lists the following as necessary items for a 5-gallon yield. The ingredients are very basic, which are malted barley, hops, yeast, and water. Sounds simple enough, right? For a beginner, now you can even look into buying kits that has everything included down to bottles and bottle caps, so that way you can bottle your own tasty beverage. For a novice, there are kits that give you a little more freedom to experiment with flavors, different styles such as Indian Pale Ales, lagers, stouts, and so on. Now that we have our ingredients, we need to cover the equipment. You'll need a 3 to 4 gallon pot, a 5-glass carboy jug, which is basically a fermentation jug, a 5 to 10 gallon plastic bucket, some varying lengths of clear hose, fermentation lock, which is basically a rubber plug with a hole in it for an airlock, funnel, thermometer, hydrometer, bottle washer, bottle caps, bottle capper, and 60 capable 12-ounce beer bottles or 25 champagne bottles. You can either find these at your local homebrew store, or you can get these online in a kit, which I highly recommend because it's a lot easier than hunting down yourself. Beginning prices range from $100 all the way to $600, which allows you to keg your beer instead of bottle it. Now that we have all the materials and ingredients needed, it's time to begin the simple process of homebrewing. The process of putting your ingredients to use is fairly short, contrary to popular belief. The most important step to the entire process is clean anything that comes into contact with the beer, such as your funnels, your hoses, your pots, and your bottles, because any slight bacteria can alter and potentially ruin your beer. So after that, all you have to do is boil 1.5 gallons of water. You'll mix in your malted barley, your hops, and cook that until it's completely dissolved. Then you'll let it cool. You'll let it cool down until it reaches degrees 68 to 75 degrees. Then you'll add 3.5 gallons of hot water, put that in your carboy, and that will begin the fermentation process. Once the entire mixture has reached between 68 and 75 degrees, you'll add your yeast. Yeast is an active ingredient which attacks the sugar, produces a carbon dioxide, which gives you the bubbles and turns the remaining sugar into alcohol. Now, if you have the patience, it only takes 3 to 5 days for the fermentation to completely subside. Then you begin bottling. You have 10 to 14 days to let the bottles sit once your beer is brewed. As it sits for these 10 to 14 days, it's going to clear up, which is going to give you the better tasting beer. If you had the patience not to open your beer before the 10 to 14 day aging period, now you're ready to enjoy the rewards of your home brew. The rewards of brewing your beer are great. The materials are reusable, you save money versus buying commercial, and you have beer that no one else has. The materials can be used as much as you want, as long as you're vigilant about sterilizing your equipment. Only the ingredients will have to be purchased. Ingredient kits range from $20 to $60, and they yield 5 gallons every time. According to Zimmergy, the homebrewing magazine, if you brew the full legal amount, which is 100 gallons per year, it will cost you roughly $400 to $1,200 a year, versus buying the same amount commercially, which would cost you $1,350 to $2,250. This is an average savings of $1,000 to $2,000. Also, when you homebrew, you have something unique, and that's a beer that you made. No other beer will taste as sweet. Now for a quick review, we've discussed the art of homebrewing your own craft beer, the materials and ingredients needed, the process in which it's made, and the rewards. When I first endeavored into the art of making homebrew, it was scary, overwhelming, and exciting. Now that the scary and overwhelming elements are gone, hopefully, after hearing the information provided, you're inspired to try brewing your own beer. Thanks for your time.
Awesome!